Welcome back to another deep dive. Today, we've got something pretty unexpected for you.
Yeah, unexpected is definitely the right word for it.
Right. So we are looking at this fascinating transcript from what was supposed to be an English language learning show.
Right, just a standard educational program.
Exactly. But it completely derailed in the best way possible and evolved into this incredibly profound psychological exploration of, well, wealth, success, and self-worth.
It really is a remarkable piece of audio.
It is. So our mission for today's deep dive is to figure out how exactly money stopped being just a currency we use to buy groceries and quietly became this, like, ultimate report card for life.
Yeah, that's the core of it.
Okay, let's unpack this. Why do we constantly equate our bank accounts with our intelligence, and how did that affect the way we view our own, fundamental value?
Well, to really get into it, we have to establish that today isn't actually about finances. We aren't talking about luxury markets or investment strategies here.
Oh, thank goodness, because I am not the person for that.
Right. No, this is about why modern society insists on building its collective identity around numbers. It's about how to untangle our deep internal self-worth from those external metrics.
Which is so hard to do. I mean, before we can even understand the emotional damage that money causes, we really have to look at why society uses it as this ultimate metric for success in the first place.
It really comes down to human nature. Human beings are just deeply attached to scoreboards.
Oh, we love a good scoreboard.
We really do. We track everything: height, chronological age, daily steps, social media followers, and obviously salary.
Right, because our brains are kind of lazy, aren't they?
Exactly. The brain looks for shortcuts to understand the hierarchy of a room. And money is visible, it's countable, and it's perfectly comparable.
Yeah, if someone makes 10 times what I make, the math is just right there in your face.
Exactly. It provides this neat little undeniable scoreboard. But the problem is that peace, emotional health, kindness, quiet integrity, none of those things come with a price tag.
They really don't.
So society just grabs the simplest proof of value it can find, which is the salary. We falsely equate money with success, which is a very superficial measurement. It's literally judging a book by its cover without reading a single page.
It's like trying to measure how heavy something is by using a tape measure.
That's a great way to put it.
Like, we are using completely the wrong tool simply because the numbers on the tape measure are just the easiest ones to read.
Yes, and the danger of this societal habit is huge.
Yeah.
Because if something pays more, we just automatically assume it means more.
Right, we just skip right over the nuance.
Exactly. We elevate the highly compensated over the highly meaningful, and we leave behind the deeper truth of a person's actual character.
Which naturally leads us to the next point, because since we use this totally flawed scoreboard, the consequences just spill over everywhere.
They absolutely do.
We don't just use it to define success, we actually start mistaking money for sheer intelligence. Like, we mistake wealth for competence.
Right, and the term for this in the source material is the concept of prestige.
Ah, right. Prestige.
Yeah, people don't just admire extreme wealth, they blindly trust it.
Which is wild when you think about it.
It is. It's because of the halo effect. The source paints this really humorous reality. Imagine a spectacularly wealthy person walks into a crowded room, right?
Okay, I'm picturing it.
They step up to a microphone and say something incredibly basic. Something like, drink water, work hard, and believe in yourself.
And the whole room just goes dead silent.
Exactly. People are furiously taking notes as if some great philosopher has just spoken.
Right. Even if that millionaire gives, like, genuinely terrible relationship advice, people will treat it like gold.
Yes, because the money acts as a massive microphone. It makes certain voices sound far more important and insightful than they really are.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, though, because I want to play devil's advocate for a second.
Go for it.
Surely making a lot of money requires some level of intelligence, right? Like, does the money just act as an amplifier, or does it completely blind us to someone's lack of competence in other areas of life?
What's fascinating here is that we have to separate market value from human value. Earning a massive amount of money absolutely requires competence. But, and this is the key, it requires competence in a highly specific area.
Right, like optimizing a supply chain isn't the same as, being a good parent.
Precisely. Earning money in one specific area does not grant you universal wisdom. Knowing how to ruthlessly eliminate corporate competition doesn't mean you understand ethics or public health.
But we give them the microphone anyway.
We do. We give polished respect to people before they've even opened their mouths,
Yeah.
simply because they bought the stage.
Which is so dangerous. And, when society is constantly handing the microphone to the wealthy, the people doing the quiet, unglamorous work begin to internalize that silence.
They really do. And it severely impacts their self-perception.
Yeah, money shifts from this practical question of do I have enough to this really dark existential question of am I enough?
People start to literally tie their fundamental self-worth to a number.
And even if you logically disagree with society's message, if you hear that pressure repeated long enough, it starts sounding like the truth.
It wears down your defenses.
Mm-hmm.
Hardworking people just start to doubt their own capabilities.
Which brings us to the deep pain of the undervalued workers. The teachers, the caregivers, nurses, artists, parents.
The people holding life together without any applause.
Exactly. I mean, think about it. Have you ever felt that quiet part of your brain start asking uncomfortable questions when someone your age achieves something highly visible?
Oh, that comparison is brutal.
It's like hanging your own heart on a stock market ticker, like when it dips, you literally feel smaller.
Yeah.
Society has this deeply cruel habit of standing on a pile of money and calling it moral height.
That is exactly what happens. We literally look down on ordinary salaries, completely ignoring the fact that the life behind that salary might be extraordinary.
Right, it's just so backward.
And this raises an important question about the broader picture of our societal values. It's a tragic irony that the exact effort that keeps real life functioning is the most undervalued by the market.
We trust these people to literally keep us alive, but we don't respect them on the scoreboard.
No, we reserve all the respect for the loudest voices in the boardroom.
And what's crazy is that this internal doubt, this unfair comparison, it's always existed, right? But recently, we've basically adopted a tool that weaponizes it.
Oh, absolutely. We put the scoreboard right in our pockets.
Yes. Our phones act as these tiny little machines of emotional damage.
That's a great way to describe it.
Yeah.
Historically, comparison visited occasionally. You went to a high school reunion every 10 years. Now it lives with us.
It's on our nightstands.
Exactly. And on these devices, success is now completely performed. It's styled, it's filtered.
Oh, the tropes are out of control. Like the whole 24-year-old who's somehow meditating, launching a company, and drinking a green juice at 5 a.m. in perfect sunlight.
The aesthetic of success, yes.
So what does this all mean? Why are successful people always awake so suspiciously early? Most of us are just trying to decide if standing up counts as personal growth today.
Well, the humor highlights a real tragedy here. This constant performance creates a horribly distorted definition of success.
It does. It really messes with your head.
People end up climbing ladders they never even chose for themselves. They chase the titles and the symbols only to reach the top and feel completely exhausted.
And totally disconnected from the inside.
Right, because you look highly successful from the outside, but you're living a twisted, unbalanced idea of what a good life actually is.
You're living an algorithm's idea of a good life.
Precisely.
So if the current scoreboard is this distorted and this exhausting, how do we correct our vision? How do we start measuring what actually matters?
Well, the source suggests we have to consciously untether money as the final proof of value.
Untether it. Okay.
Yeah, because when we stop letting wealth blind us, it allows us to finally see people clearly. We have to start recognizing alternative, unmonetized forms of intelligence.
Unmonetized intelligence. I love that phrase. What does that look like in the real world?
It looks like emotional intelligence, practical wisdom, true resilience.
Yeah.
It's being good in a crisis or having the strength to carry deep personal pain without passing it on to your kids or your community.
Oh, wow. That's massive. And it's so liberating to realize that, a quiet life, one that looks entirely ordinary from the outside, can actually be filled with immense courage and strength.
Absolutely. The wisest people often have no massive title. They don't have a polished image or some dramatic success story.
They just have a quiet depth.
Yes, clear thinking and quiet depth. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it really brings it home. When we measure people too quickly using only money, we miss the absolute best parts of them.
We miss the stuff that actually matters.
We miss their invisible kindness. We miss their unseen discipline. A person's value cannot be measured by money alone because human worth is always deeper than numbers.
There's always more than meets the eye.
Always.
Man, that is so powerful. Let's just quickly recap the journey of this deep dive today.
It's been a lot of ground to cover.
It really has. We explored how society uses money as this lazy tape measure, this lazy scoreboard. We talked about the wealth microphone and how wealth creates this total illusion of universal wisdom.
The halo effect.
Yeah. And then we looked at the heavy toll this takes on the self-worth of quiet, essential workers and how social media just amplifies that distorted definition of success.
It's a heavy realization.
Yeah.
And I want to leave you with a final thought to really mull over, building on everything we've talked about from the source material.
Okay, lay it on us.
If humans are really so wired to love scoreboards, if we truly need them, what would happen if we actually could invent a visible, countable scoreboard for emotional intelligence or for kindness?
Oh, wait, really? Like a literal number above someone's head?
Exactly. Would it finally change who we give the microphone to in society? Or, knowing human nature, would we just find a way to corrupt, perform, and ruthlessly compete over that measurement too?
Oh, wow. We probably would turn kindness into a toxic competition, wouldn't we?
It's very possible.
That is a phenomenal question to think about. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep untangling your self-worth from those bank statements and keep looking for the unmonetized intelligence in the people around you. And as always, keep exploring the world from multiple perspectives. Catch you next time.